Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is Saxlingham, episode 3. And in this episode, we are, as you can see, baling the field. Our harvest is done for getting the wheat off. And I was really close when I said it was going to fill the silo, and it was going to fill the auger wagon, and we were going to have a full load in the harvester, and then we had just a little bit more. So overall, 75,000 in the silo, 30,000 in the auger wagon is 105,000. We have, I think, 7,000 give or take in the harvester. So from 105 to 112, and then I ended up going to get a small tipper, the little 8 cubic meter one, for $9,000 to hold the rest, which was about 2,700. I could have left a little bit more in the harvester and had a little less than the 2,700 in the little trailer, but I dumped it into the trailer and didn't have a way to get it back into the harvester, if that makes sense. So I was just kind of estimating at that point. I'm going to split hairs about, it could have had 1,000 more in the harvester. The odds are what we're going to have to do is sell the little bit that's in the little Farm Tech trailer so that we can convert that trailer to a flatbed so that we can use it to haul goods that we're going to need, like lime or fertilizer in a future episode. So I wanted to have a little trailer to haul around anyway. Plus, I think it is very unrealistic to drive that auger wagon all the way to the sale point. And although we are able to pull it around our field with this tractor, when it is full, it does lose some miles per hour going up a hill. And I looked at the sales points, and they are on the opposite corners of the map. One is down in the southwest, and one is up in the northeast. And there's definitely going to be some hills between here and there, and some narrow roads where I just don't think taking that auger wagon would be realistic, or I guess authentic might be a better word, for what we wanted to do. So I wanted a small trailer that we could use to haul to the sell point as time was going on. So that's why we got that little Farm Tech trailer as well. So ultimately I did have 39,000 left to buy the goods, but we spent 9,000 on the trailer, so now we're right around 30,000 for all the goods that we're going to have for the remainder of this season to replant everything here this month and then the next month. So anyway, what we're watching now is me finishing not finishing, I guess, there's quite a bit left, but me getting bales off of the field here. I think this is going to produce a reasonable amount of bales for us. I think we talked about it last episode, but I want to kind of reiterate why we ended up going with this baler versus the little round one. I know this one can wrap, but we're just doing straw right now. I don't know that it's necessary for us to have a bale wrapper, but it never hurts in case a bale wrapping contract comes up that we want to do, or in case we ever do branch off into silage in a way that we want to wrap some bales. So number one, I just thought it was better to get the baler, our what do you call it? Our ultimate baler, the baler we're going to use for the whole series, rather than stepping up. I've used the little baler that just makes one round bale at a time that doesn't wrap, but I just feel like I'm stopping at like all the time with that, and I've just wanted to do something a little bit different. So we got this one. It might have been a bit of a stretch, but just transitioned. We skipped a bunch of time there, and we're now in the evening, and we're now close to finishing the field. This is just taking kind of a lot of the day, so we had to slow the time down to ×2. And it's still, what is that, after 1800? So it's after 6 p.m. and it's getting pretty dark, but we're kind of wrapping up the field, and hopefully we're going to finish up here soon and get this parked up. We're getting a pretty good yield of bales off of here. I think we're going to be, over 50 for sure. And we're going to be doing, and this is at a lower yield. So we yielded around 57%, I think, off the field in total. Some areas were in the mid 50s, some areas were up in the 60s and the 70s, but that's without any fertilizer or any lime. So hopefully we're obviously going to get closer to 100% yield. On the map, it said 96% yield average on the field. So we might not get over 100% even with all the stuff that we're doing, but we're going to do much better than the 60% yield we're getting here. Anyway, so this is the glorious last pass with the baler. And we're going to be, we're at 53 bales, I think. Sorry, the writing is really small when I'm editing like this, so I can't actually read it. And so that should be 54. I believe that's 54. And so then we're going to get the rest of this strip and we'll get this parked up. But I was talking about the baler, so let me go back to that real quick. We chose this baler for a couple of reasons. Number one, I wanted to get the Fendt to match. Number two, this one only requires 140 horsepower, and our Fendt Vero, the tractor we have, is 171, where the big square baler required 275 horsepower. So we couldn't pull the big square baler that would allow us to not stop. So this was the biggest baler that we could have pulled that matched our tractor and had the bonus of being able to wrap. Yes, it was twice the cost of the one without the wrapper, but I think given the one that we got that works with our tractor and has the ability to wrap and also pick up at 12 meters, so we can pick up 2 rows instead of 1, which I talked about extensively in episode 2. I think this was the right mix for us, and I think we don't need to upgrade our baler anytime soon, which is good to know. So it's good to have the baler that we want. Sorry, backing it into the corner here is apparently a problem. It's good to have this baler for us. I think it's going to be the right mix. I think it's going to be the right size for this playthrough. Eventually, if we have 3 fields maybe of this size, we might want to skip to a big square baler. And we can do that if we need to, but that's going to be at least 5 years from now, harvest-wise. So I don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. I think this is the right baler for us. So let's run around here and get these last 6 bales, I think, is all that we have left off the field. And then we'll pull this in and show you where we've been storing the bales in the shed. I think there's a better way to do this than what I've done this time around, but since we're only going to have 2 full trailer loads plus 1 trailer load of 6, this works. I think if we had gotten over 100 bales off, which I think is what we will get with the increased yield next time around, we're probably going to get closer to 100 bales with my guess. I don't think we could store them like this. We just don't have room. But you can see I parked them off to the left, and then I parked the trailer right here to kind of block them in, and we can get in and out the door. So we'll be able to pull them straight out to the sell point in December or January. I think December. Anyway, so that is set to go, and then we're going to pull back around here and get parked up. And fast forward time probably to tomorrow anyway, because it is August, it is late, it is getting dark out, and we're going to just skip to the next day where we're going to have to get busy on, I think liming is the next thing that we've got coming. So yep, and here we are. I've cut to the lime application. This is the top of the field. You can see we've done 3 or 4 rows there, and you can also see off in the distance a big white pile next to our silo. That is our lime sell point or buy point, our lime purchasing pile. It's a big pile of lime. I decided, number one, we leased this Breedle trailer because we obviously don't want to go any more farther in debt yet, although I think we're going to have to at some point. But this Breedle trailer is going to be able to do lime and fertilizer for us, which eventually might be something that we want to do with two separate implements for spreading widths, because that other fertilizer spreader, the little one, the Amazon, that one can spread, I think, 42 meters, where this one says it does 24. Right now we're doing 12, but I think it's just 12 for the lime. I think the fertilizer is more. I'm pretty sure. But regardless, this one we had to lease because we didn't want to buy it. And we're going to be able to use it for two things, for application of both the fertilizer and for liming right now. So it's getting to help us. And you can see there's, it's obviously dark green out here on the edge. We're getting a lot of pH application for this area. But when we're crossing our lines, as you're going to see in just a second, when we pull back onto the field, there's an area of loamy sand, I believe, that is that dark orange color, and we're only able to bring it up to that yellow color. So we're still not going to get the best yield on this section of the field, which is probably why the average for this field is at 96%. So this section of the field isn't great, but when you get over to the east side of the field, we get back to the dark green with our pH applications. So the soil type is changing, and that is going to really help us get a better yield for this section. So, I mean, about half the field is that loamy sand that's not going to help us out very well. But the rest of the field is pretty good. It's this darker green area where it's taking the pH, or taking the lime to do the pH. So overall, you know, it is what it is. We're getting the best yield that we can off of this field, and that's kind of all we can ask for. So we're going to keep going back and forth here, loading up the lime. I haven't necessarily been counting how much we're putting in here. We did fill it all the way up to, I think, the 11,000 that this one will take from that lime field, or the lime pile in our farmyard. And I'm guessing we're going to have to do that 2 or 3 times because it's just really taking a lot of lime to get this done. So, you know, there's not really a lot else to say about lime, so I just want to kind of transition to another topic, but I wanted to make sure we addressed this dark orange section that's not turning green, even though the other sections are turning green. So we're doing the best we can. And we're, at least some of the field is going to turn green for our pH level there. So anyway, hold on for 1 second. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the weather. As you can see, up in the right-hand corner, it is starting to rain. The icon has switched from overcast with rain coming to rain coming with sunny afterwards, I guess. That's how you read that. So you can see some raindrops hitting right now. I assume it is not a good idea to lime in the rain. So we're going to go ahead and finish this row so that we at least got that done, because it's just starting right now. But then I think we're going to have to park and fast forward time until after the rain is done, because I just don't think we'd want to lime in the rain. So I don't know that it actually affects it game-wise, but I think it's probably just a wise thing to do to quit liming here for a second and come over here, probably refill while we're waiting, and then just fast forward time to get past the rain showers. So that's what we're doing now, is we're just going to take a quick break from liming here and probably do a jump cut till after the rain is done. So I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Okay, and we're back. I actually didn't record the last little bit or I didn't include the last little bit we did a full load. So it rained until noon, and then we did 1 full tank of lime between like 12:15 to, I don't know, what is that, whatever time it is now. And that kind of did the mid section of the field. So this is our 3rd load of lime that we're refilling right now. And we will go ahead and use this. Yeah, there was the map real quick. So we're going to do a little bit of the headland here. We actually did the headland at the top during the last segment that I don't have for you, or that we skipped. but we're going to go ahead and just get here where we ended up and finish off this headland for this side. A couple of areas of wheat that we missed during the harvest. Not much, but enough that it's still there. That'll get plowed under when we cultivate and seed with our direct drill. So we're going to go ahead and finish this lime here. I just wanted to talk quick about, or finish the video discussing kind of the crop rotation we're thinking about for this. Since we know we got around 114,000 liters of wheat off of the field the first time around, I think we're going to want to aim for something similar, or I want to see how much better we're going to do, I guess I should say, the next time around. So, shoot, we're missing a little bit in that we did 2 headlands is what the lines are for, but we've really technically only done 1. We've turned around and I thought we covered enough of it, but there's clearly some triangles we're missing. We'll have to come back and get those, depending on how much lime we want to use, because this is taking longer than I thought it was going to, and we can technically plant wheat. Yeah, so look at that map. We're 2/3 done, maybe 75%. So this hopefully will be the last load. I didn't fill it up all the way because I was trying to not leave lime in our rented lime spreader. We could return it with the lime in it, but we want to use this for fertilizing, which means we'd have to dump the lime out. And then in addition to that giant lime heap in our farmyard, we'd also have big bags of lime sitting around that were partially full, which we don't necessarily want. So we're going to try to make this work with what we have in the spreader now. Like I said, we're not quite bringing this orange section back to green. We're just getting it to yellow. It's definitely an improvement, but it's not as much of an improvement as I like. So I don't know that I'm going to waste time liming all of that. We'll see. But I might leave a section of that since the lime doesn't seem to be helping a ton. Depending. I don't want to refill this thing 4 more times, and I really don't want to end up with lime left in the spreader. So, but for the crop rotation, sorry, I got distracted. I'm thinking wheat again next time because I want to see if we can get more than 114,000. Obviously we will because we're adding lime and we're adding fertilizer, but I want to see how much of a yield bonus we're going to get. Sometimes I've heard YouTubers talk about doubling the yield when they do precision farming like this. I don't believe we're going to get from 60% to 120% because it's not the field that we have. So I think we're going to get maybe a 40% bump. So my goal would be to get to 150,000 liters. So we got 114 this first time around. I would really like to get 150 this next time around. And I'm kind of picking that number for 2 reasons. Number one, it's not quite double, but it's up, 30 to 40% more than we got this time around. And also our silo holds 75,000. Because we are just full up right now with the silo being full, the auger wagon being full, the harvester still having some wheat in it, and that farm tech trailer having a little bit of wheat in it, we just can't hold anymore without getting a silo extension. So if we get the silo extension that matches the silo that we have, we'll get to 150,000 capacity in the silo. So my goal is to fill that silo up with the extension. Anyway, we're about to run out of lime here. I think I'm going to wrap up the episode here. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let me know what you want to see in a future episode, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.